Hey guys, welcome to episode 10 of the Sleeping Trailer series. We're about to cover up a bunch of stuff and the trailer's about to go back up to the other shop. So we want to give you kind of a heads up on some plumbing and some electrical stuff that we've got going on, and now would be a great time. So it's going to be a real short video, but it'll kind of keep the series going and it'll let you know where we're at. As always, leave us a comment if you have a question and we'll address that in the next video. We appreciate you watching. Okay guys, so here we're going to talk a little bit about the electrical. So we have the front sleeping compartments. This trailer is divided into bunk 1 and 2. So the front bunk is going to be Steven. Next bunk will be one of the pickup drivers. Third bunk will be the other pickup driver. And then the fourth bunk where we're standing will be Stan's. Part of what we're doing is you can kind of see how we're going to lay out all the power. We got the 3 breakers for the heating and air unit, and then we've got these breakers. We went with the little higher density breakers for all the outlets, some 20 amps, some 15. Run the circuits back and you'll see we have 30 amp circuits for the heating and air. Even though they're only 20, I just like having a bigger wire for anything that's heating and air or motor. A couple of 20 amp circuits for some heavy stuff under each of the bunks for the guys to charge up or run whatever they wanted to. We've got a full 20 amp circuit and then a 15 amp circuit just for convenience outlets and lights. So that's how we broke this up. Then down here at the bottom you see this 150 amp circuit or 60, and this will be the transfer switch that will let the bunkhouse separate from the inverter, or if it's just hooked up to an RV50, or if it's hooked up to the generator, or if it's hooked up to our 3-phase power. All this constitutes all the wiring that's going to be to the front 2 bunks. As you see, we have little hoops, and then like this wire right here is going to run the HVAC for this section, then there'll be another one in the back. But this kind of shows you how I manage the wiring in these hoops. I can temporarily run it through, and then before we get it finished off, I'll zip tie it all up nice so it doesn't move. In a normal house, you don't have to think about dynamic environments. When you're building a sleeping trailer, you have to think about a dynamic environment because this thing's basically gonna go through an earthquake every time it goes down the road. In a normal house, you don't have to worry about things moving. Here, we have to worry about wires moving and chafing and working on each other. So we're gonna get that worked out. You can also see up here, this is how the ceiling ties over from the other side, and you see there's gonna be that vent space above. That's a return air plenum. And we're gonna make that return air plenum common between the front and the back bunks. And we're gonna have fans that we can reverse in case we ever had to utilize one air conditioner to run all 4 bunks, which would be more than enough because we're putting 4 total tons in this area here. So there's way more capacity than we need, but it gives us the ability to cool down quickly, have plenty of capacity, and they're smaller units so we can do the dehumidification because they ramp up and down. So we'll go into that a little bit more, but we're kind of prepping and getting ready for that. So you kind of see how the electricals is going to work. We're going to put this in Stan's bedroom. It'll be a little bit bigger area, but there's going to be a closet and a wardrobe. So if you want to run up front, we'll look at the electrical layout for each of the bunks before we cover that all the way up. All right, so as we continue up here, so again, we're in the front. I'm going to put a mirror across here, hold it off, and the mirror is going to be removable. And that's how we're going to gain access to the back of the shower in case we ever had to service it again. Down here is for the sink, and we've got the plumbing, the drain, the hot and cold water feeds. And then this is the cold water feed for the way the emaciator toilet works. And then here you can see our normal 15 amp circuit. And then because this is a bathroom, I put a 20 amp circuit. Lighting circuit, the fan's running right now to do the makeup air. Got the lights all wired in. We'll step around here. And so as we look at the electrical that now we have, this is again the front bunk for Steven. We're about to close this wall up, but you can see how we have the wiring, and we're anticipating getting all this sealed up because we do want to make it as quiet as possible. There's going to be some like sound deadening panels here so that like the guy in the bathroom and here won't be bothered as much as possible, even though it is a tight space. And another thing we'll do, of course, is we'll have the white noise and all the energy from the fans running and helping that. So that's going to make it where it's nice and comfortable for these guys to sleep. Once again, you can look in here and you can see we got a full 20 amp circuit over there. Anytime you see yellow, you know we got 20 amp circuit. We've got a quad box under the bunk here. It's going to give plenty of power. There's power coming across for the TV, and then this will also give us a way that, of course, this will have Wi-Fi and Cat 5, Cat 6 cabling so that the guys can all be connected together. And each one of these bunks, of course, will have a TV. This will be, I haven't decided if I'll 45 it or square it off or incorporate some shelving or something. But again, the mirror is removable to gain access to the back of the plumbing. So you can kind of see how it's coming together. As we step back into this common area, you can see some of the wire makeup that we've got. We've got our outside light for the stairs. Again, the circuit for the heating and air. That little box up there is the return for the air. So you can see the ceiling's in, it's all coming together, and the trim's gonna set back out. And because I've got a lot of talented people like Chuck and Scotty, I can quickly turn this part of the project back over to them as the infrastructure and a lot of this stuff is done. So before the rest of the ceiling went in and got covered up, you know, one more good night, all this would get covered up, and I thought we'd give you just a little quick video updating you, showing you some of the plumbing, the electrical. Kind of ran over it fast, but if you have any questions about it, put them down in the comments and we'll come back and we'll add that in the next video, or I'll answer them directly for you.